Well, hey everybody, how y'all doing this morning? Today is January 1, 2025, and we're here at the Tippecanoe River State Park for the first day hike. So they're going to hike up to a water tower that they have here in the state park. But this is where we're at this morning. We're going to hike to the tower on January 1. We're at the fire tower parking area. We've got a little bit of a crowd here today. Overcast, kind of gray, but it's not raining, it's not snowing, so looks good. We're a little bit early yet, so people are gathering. But we're here at the state park, the Tippecanoe River State Park in Indiana. Well, the hike is on. We've got our crowd. We're starting up the trail. A lot of people some of them brought their kids, some of them brought their dogs. We're starting up the trail. Kind of a crisp morning this morning. It was spitting a little snow earlier this morning. Well, we're actually going up a little bit of a rise. Definitely tell the woods is ready for winter time. Everything's pretty brown. Got a little bit of gravel going here. I tell you a little story. More than 60 some years ago, me and this tower's got a little bit of history. I was up here with my second grade class. We went to climb the tower. I got up about 2 flights of stairs and got scared of heights and decided I didn't want to go any higher, so that was something that I always felt I had to accomplish, was to climb this tower, which I did later on. But that was 60 some years ago when I was in second grade. But we get up here to the tower, we'll give you a view of that. Looks like we've got several trails that go off of this trail. There's a shot of the tower coming up. Wasn't too far of a hike. But this is the first hike of 2025.
So, the fire towers were built by the U.S. Forestry Service in response initially to a major event that happened in 1910. The Great Fire of 1910, otherwise known as the Big Blow Up, burned almost 3 million acres of Washington, Idaho, Montana. Burnt down 12 towns and caused an estimated $6 billion in timber loss for that region. It was said that smoke could be seen in Washington, D.C. So, the president at the time challenged the brand new U.S. Forestry Service, which had been founded in 1905, so just 5 years old, to come up with a series of procedures and policies to try and prevent a wildfire on this scale from happening again. So, in response, they received drastic increase in funding, came out with a bunch of policies and procedures. One of their more famous ones was U.S. Forestry Service will fight all wildfires. If you know anything about the history of fighting wildfires, that is something that was a major policy shift to get away from fighting every single one to letting some of them burn out. Or in addition, all fires must be extinguished by 10 a.m. rule. That was their goal. Every single wildfire that the U.S. Forestry Service found, the goal was to have it out by 10 a.m. the following day. To mixed success. In addition, they set out to promote early detection and early warning, and therefore set up a series of observation towers. Hundreds of these were built all across the United States. Quite a large percentage of them were built, obviously, in the Pacific Northwest, California, and the Rocky Mountain areas, the big pine forests out there. These were not just kind of random observation posts. These were staffed by trained professionals, given a series of tools and equipment relevant for the time, and whose job it was, day in and day out, to keep an eye out for wildfires and to coordinate fighting that fire and controlling it with U.S. Forestry Services. This tower was built in 1937, part of the ongoing effort to spread fire towers and to spread coverage and observation. This one was built actually in tandem with another tower that was adjacent to it in what is now Pulaski Fish and Wildlife area. That tower was torn down, this one was saved. So a typical day-to-day activity or a typical day's activity for fire watch personnel was to spend up to 10 hours a day up inside that tower, watching for smoke, using everything from binoculars and telescopes to some very fancy pieces of equipment, things called psychomotors, which was used to observe humidity and changes in air pressure to try and calculate the possibilities of fires, and a thing called an Osborne fire finder, which is this big fancy circular map that has 2 points opposite each other, kind of like a gun sight, and you would rotate the map towards the direction of the smoke, and the map itself was a perfect topographical read of the local area, and you could use that to get a bearing, and then you would have 2 towers actually coordinate to get a bearing on the fire, and by doing some complicated math, they could actually pinpoint to within 3/4 of a mile the exact location of a fire. I got a picture of one of those Osborne firefinders here in my packet. If you guys want to see what that looked like. Pretty cool piece of equipment. In 1941, the United States enters World War II. A lot of the fire towers the personnel that were trained for these, particularly in those on the West Coast, were also given additional duties. They were trained as aircraft lookouts, looking for planes, potential enemies that might be flying over the continental U.S. Some of the more centrally located ones and ones of less importance, those personnel were pulled away, a lot of them joining the armed services, and the roles were actually taken up by volunteers, usually local farmers, those that were too old to serve. A large number of fire watch personnel, volunteers, was actually taken over by women at the time, because that was a role that they could step in and fill, and a lot of them became trained and ended up joining U.S. Forestry Service from that. However, by the end of 1945, by the end of World War II, planes had actually started taking over a major role in fire watch services. They actually established permanent flyover routes from a lot of the Pacific Northwest, and the observation towers began to go by the wayside. By the 1970s, in Indiana, we had pretty much ceased all use of fire watch towers. and they started taking them down. There are currently only 13 remaining towers left in Indiana, and this is the only one that's left in the northern third of the state. All the rest of them are all down in southern Indiana. Most of them are at state parks or at national forests. In state forests, there's a couple that are privately owned. There's a pretty cool list online of the remaining towers, and some folks that are kind of hobbyists make it a point of visiting them all. Now, a major part of U.S. Forestry's sort of, I guess, doctrine, for lack of a better word, is less about observation and fighting fires and more about fire prevention. So this is where you get a lot of fire management, controlled burns, vegetation removal, and resource management. We do an awful lot of those procedures here on this property, doing resource management and control burns, actually deliberately lighting a fire to prevent a bigger fire in the future. And that's kind of become their policy, as they realized that trying to stop every single fire actually does more harm than good, because what you end up doing is you leave fuel on the ground, inevitably leading to bigger, more severe fire in the future. We actually try and let as much stuff burn as we can because it's better for the environment. It's a more natural process. So this is all that remains of almost 75 years of practice and history from the U.S. Forestry Service and volunteer fire watches and fire personnel. That's my speech. Thank you all for coming out and enjoying our first day hike, and enjoy the rest of your day. Where that was, they get on the radio, they call U.S. Forestry, they call local fire, and then they would work to Fort Dix. Just look at their map and say, hey, you need to go to this location in this county. There's the fire.
Can I get a picture for you guys?
All right, well, we're at the base of the tower. So let's see if we can climb up this bad boy. Wow, we've got nice grading on the beginning of it here. Looks like a trail off to the side there. Well, we're working our way up. We're getting higher.
Yeah, come on up.
Come on up.
Yep. And then we'll come down and you guys can have it. How many more?
I don't know. Two. There's two, but they're. Oh. Take your time. We have our annual picture. No, you're really red. Oh my God.
Well, this is about as far up as I got in the second grade, so we've been to the top. Been up to the fire tower and climbed to the top. Now we're headed back down the trail back to the parking lot. We've just about completed the first day hike in the state park for 2025. You got just a few little snow flurries coming down. I don't know if you can see them or not, but it's pretty thin. But you get down here in the woods, it's not too breezy, but boy, up on top of the fire tower, it was kind of breezy up there in the open above all the trees. We had a nice little crowd. Kind of cool today. Face is a little red from being up in the fire tower. Like I say, the wind was blowing pretty good up there. Pretty calm down here in the woods. But we're working our way back down to the parking lot. We'll have completed our first hike of the year. We have made it back to the parking lot from the fire tower. A few cars left. Not very many though. But we have managed the hike. So we're gonna head on out of here, head back home. Well, I couldn't come to the state park without stopping and getting a shot of what this park's named after. So we're gonna take a little stroll through the park a little bit and see if we can't find the Tippecanoe River. I don't know what they call this, but it's not the river. A little creek flowing through here. I'm sure it empties into the river. Little comfort station there. Not much going on this time of year in the park, for sure. I'm back here by myself pretty much. We've got a river shelter. Looks like I'm kind of surprised the doors are open, but we'll walk in here. We got a couple fireplaces. That's pretty nice. Yeah. Uh-oh. Hikers can't spend the night in here. No sleeping in this building. How about that? But yeah, I'm kind of surprised we're open. But we still haven't found the river yet. We're looking for the river. We got a fireplace out here on this little pavilion. Tables. It's kind of nice. Boy, if you was into wintertime picnicking outdoors, it'd be a pretty nice place to come. Probably so in the summertime too. But I think we're about to find the river. This is the Tippecanoe River. Oh, we've done some repair on the boardwalk here. You can see we got the little balls of snow. Like I say, it's been spitting snow a little bit. But there you go. That's the shot of the Tippecanoe River. I don't see any ducks or geese on the river, but right at the moment it's just pretty quiet. There's a shot of the river. I grew up on the river here, not right here at the state park, but a few miles south of here. I always enjoyed the river. It's nice and quiet, pretty peaceful. All right, we found the river, so. Wow, looks like they've got quite a fireplace in the office section there. Pretty good chimney going up through the roof there. I'll bet then sitting around the fireplace would be nice. Yeah, too bad we don't have a roaring fire in here. That'd be pretty nice. Got an outside grill you cook on. Well, that's this section of the park. As maybe you can see, I'm the only one here down at the nature center and the picnic area. They've got nice wide open space. There's back at the shelter where we just were. I'm the only lone vehicle in the parking lot. Well, looks like a new sidewalk. I'll go down here and see what this sign's all about. It says this area has been converted into a wetland. Something new. I don't think I've seen this before. Better read fast. We've got a nice paved sidewalk, nice handicap accessible for sure. We'll go out on this little pier, check out the wetland. We got a little skim of ice on a little bit of that. No, say don't bother fishing off of here. This is a fishless community. So it's just a wetlands. With all the rain we've been getting, I'd say it's pretty wet. All low ground for sure. Kind of marshy. There's another section of the state park we checked out for you today. Still kind of breezy, Definitely kind of cool today. But yeah, nice sidewalk. Come down here and do a little wetland viewing. Well, I thought we'd stop and give you a little view of the campground here at the state park. Pretty nice little state park. Pretty nice campground. I don't see too many campers here, but pretty nice. We used to come up here and camp. Kind of empty today. You got electric hookups, looks like. But pretty nice.